The Owl House is a Disney show that I made a video on back when I didn't fully understand how to make a video. Back when I made that video, we had Season 1 and a little bit of Season 2. Now, however, we have all the seasons, because the show is over now. And not by the creator's volition, I can tell you that, but we're not getting into that just rage-filled rabbit hole today. Today, I'm going to be covering the Owl House's finale, and I'm going to tell you what I thought of it, and maybe, just maybe, I'll drop a naughty word here and there. Let's go!
This video contains spoilers for The Owl House. If you do not want The Owl House finale, then please go watch the original video and then come back here. Enjoy the video.
So, before we get into Season 3, I might as well give you some brief thoughts on Season 2, because that's kind of important. Season 2 was pretty much all story, baby, and I love it. We get introduced to Hunter, the Emperor's surrogate son, I guess I'll call him, even though the Emperor is a terrible parent. Ida's mom, Ida's dad, Hunter's palisman Flapjack, 3 of the Coven heads, Darius, Emerwolf, and Rain, who is my favorite character by the way. And we also get the reveal that Belos is actually a human. Not only is he a human, he's a witch hunter who's planning to genocide the witches of the Boiling Isles on the Day of Unity using something called a draining spell, which he got through another new character, the Collector, who's this weird childish being who's been trapped away in some mirror. And has a deal with Belos that if they help him on the Day of Unity, then Belos will let them out. Yeah, I'm sure he'll hold up his end of the deal.
Goodbye.
Yep. We also get to discover that King is a Titan, and not just any Titan, he is specifically the son of the Boiling Isles, which makes me wonder how old King is, but that's not important. What is important is that by the end of Season 2, the Collector has been unleashed and is causing chaos, and Belos has been, well, not defeated, but he's been reduced to a pile of goo. Also, Luz and her friends are now in the human realm. Oh, also, there's this shapeshifter who was pretending to be Luz, but then Camilla found out she was pretending to be Luz, and now she's just her own person. They do so little with her, and it sucks because she could have been such an interesting character. But she is named V, which is, to my knowledge at least, an intentional reference to my favorite movie.
Voila!
So she's not so bad. But anyway, Season 3 starts with Thanks to Them, which is the perfect starter to this 3-part finale. It shows us how time has passed, and we get to see all the characters' new designs. And we also get introduced to the main plot of the episode. Our characters, while they're checking out the old house that Luz went through in the first episode, discover something called a rebus. I think that's what it is, which is a puzzle that will lead them to Titan's blood so they can open a portal to the demon realm. And since there's a Halloween festival coming up, they're saving this as a surprise for Luz, who has made the decision not to go back to the demon realm with them, because she blames herself for everything. Also, Hunter got some Belos goop in a cut on his finger and now he's slowly being possessed by him, which isn't good. This all culminates in a confrontation at the graveyard, where Luz discovers the Titan blood, Belos finally takes full control of Hunter, and Luz and all her friends get into an epic battle with possessed Hunter. This Hunter results in Flapjack, Hunter's palisman, getting injured, but Hunter does manage to get Belos out of his body, which is beneficial. Unfortunately, Flapjack has to sacrifice his life to save Hunter, which, in a fun little detail, changes his eyes from the weird pinkish red that they've always been to a brown color. After Hunter is brought back, everyone, including Camilla, but not V for some reason, decides to go to the demon realm. To be honest, I wonder if they left V in the human realm, because maybe they didn't want V to try the obvious thing of trying to drain the Collector's powers. It seems like such an odd idea. V, in my opinion, is just very wasted throughout the show. But anyway, the next episode, For the Future, is really long. I know all of these are similar lengths, but For the Future feels longer because it's definitely the worst of these three specials. The parts I like about For the Future are seeing Willow finally crack under pressure, seeing Belos' journey to a new body, and seeing him manipulate the Collector after he possesses the Rain puppet. Oh, and seeing King Ida and Lilith adjust to this new life in the Collector's castle. All that stuff is really cool, and I really like the gag, or kind of gag I guess, where Belos sees all the ghosts of the past Grimwalkers and he just shrugs them off saying, "Oh, shut up." The stuff I didn't like, however, is all the stuff involving Hexside. Like, I like seeing Mytholomule and stuff, and I like the gag of learning that his last name is Tholomule, so his first name is Math, or maybe it's just Muh? But for the stuff I really didn't like, why would you focus an entire episode, especially one of the last episodes, on Basha and Kikimora as antagonists? Nobody's favorite antagonists. Basha is just your standard bully, and Kikimora is just so annoying here. It seemed like they were kinda setting up for a little bit of redemption in the Season 2 finale with the fact that she helped King, but like, no, she's just back to being evil now, and now she wants all the power. Why does she want power? I don't know, she just wants power. She's one of those villains. I've never been a fan of villains who just want power because power. Like, they have no motives at all. Belos also wants power, but he wants power because he wants to desperately prove to himself that everything he's done and all of his beliefs are right, and everything he's done has been worth it so far. Deep down, he knows he's a villain. He knows he's done bad things, but he wants to deny that and prove that even if those things were bad, even if he killed his own brother in cold blood, it was worth it. Kikimora wants power for no reason. This whole episode just kind of feels like filler, and it really shouldn't feel like filler when this is the final 3 episodes. I also like seeing Hunter gain powers from absorbing Flapjack, even though, in my opinion, it's kinda random because it doesn't really come into play at all. I also liked seeing Luz's palisman, Stringming, who is a snake shifter. I appreciate the wordplay there. And the episode ends with the Collector being fully manipulated into thinking King and Luz are down to take him out, so he starts a new game. Watching and Dreaming is a really lousy title for a finale. Listen, I get that they wanted to spell out thanks for watching with the titles, because Season 1 and Season 2's titles also spelled out stuff, but doesn't For the Future sound like a much more fitting title, considering the fact that they're changing the future forever and it even ends on a time skip? I don't know really, but I feel like I'm definitely going to remember For the Future, or Thanks to Them, as a better title than Watching and Dreaming. But anyway, this one begins with Luz in a strange vision the Collector has made for her. In fact, the Collector has made visions for King and Ida as well. Luz does manage to break free of this vision though, after realizing Amity misquoted something from the Good Witch Azura, which is kind of funny. Then Luz manages to break Ida and King free of their visions. And even though they get to have a happy, warm moment, Rain, or Rain possessed by Belos I guess, manipulates the Collector into trapping them in this just series of torturous games while Rain can just go possess the Titan's heart. I keep saying Rain, but I mean Belos possessing Rain, just so you know. And after all these terrible games, Luz finally manages to somewhat get through to the Collector, showing him all these old places of significance. And after they have a good talk, They realize that Belos has possessed the Titan's heart, even though Rain did put up a decent fight for someone who was having their body melted by Belos. Belos has turned into this giant dragon thing while trying to stand up as the Titan's body, and the Collector attempts to Steven Universe his way out of this, as in forgiving the genocidal maniac, but Luz manages to swoop in just in the nick of time. Unfortunately, that means Luz dies, which makes the Collector finally understand how death works, and also makes Ida and King go full monster mode. And by the way, this weird, vine mold stuff that Belos pretty much covers the world in, it's really creepy looking, and I love it. And then we see Luz, who wakes up in the in-between realm, and she finally meets the Titan, who has a hootie sticking out of his eye, which is an odd choice. I think they're trying to imply that he made Hootie in some way, since there was going to be a whole episode about Hootie's origins that got cut, so I think this was a good way to kind of hint at that without just making him randomly confirm it. And the Titan is really cool. I liked seeing him just be like this chill dad. I fucking love his glyph pajama pants. It's all just more 10 out of 10 character. And with his last bit of life, he gives Luz superpowers. Also, all of the animation for Luz's Titan form, as I'm gonna call it, is absolutely amazing. They just went all out for this last scene in the episode. And the final confrontation with Belos, where she finally rips him out of the Titan's heart while calling back to the first scene in the show, is just amazing. And after everything's done, and Belos is finally thwarted, he tries to manipulate Luz one last time by trying to pretend to be cursed. And I don't know if this was intentional or not, but that was actually a really big fan theory for a while, that Belos was cursed in some way. But no, Luz doesn't buy it, and he slowly melts in the rain and is finally stepped on by everyone. A good, not dignified death for an absolutely horrible villain. When I say horrible, I mean horrible as in he was a terrible person, not horrible as in he is a villain of low quality. Just want to clear that up. And after this, we get to see a happy ending where everyone's reunited. Alador isn't dead, thankfully, despite everyone thinking he was for a while. And we get to see them rebuilding the Boiling Isles and making it all new. And then we get to see a nice time skip where we see how everyone ended up as Owlburn gathers them up for Luz's Quinceañera. And we get to end with a nice shot of everyone waving by. I think that overall, this is a great ending. But I have a few problems. Well, more like one problem, and that is that Luz's whole friend group kinda just gets shafted. Even her mother doesn't get to join in on the final battle, and I can get that to a degree, but it kinda feels like these characters, who we spent the other two finale episodes with, just kinda got shoved to the sidelines, barely doing much. I also feel as if the Collector got redeemed a little too early. I can get that because it's the last episode, and they probably would have had the Collector have a much bigger arc if they could make this a whole season. But still, you can kind of feel them rushing to it, But overall, I think this was an absolutely amazing finale. And I think the last 3 episodes in Season 2 were great ways to end off the show. I wish we could have gotten to see more of this world and seen more of the episode ideas they had, and I hope that one day maybe we can see something more from the Owl House. And listen, I'm just saying that if you do make an Owl House movie, the Archivists, which are the Collector's siblings, would be perfect villains for it. I'm just saying. So, yeah, that's it. If you like this video, why don't you press the like button. If you didn't like it, why don't you dislike it? And if you really like the video, why don't you subscribe and turn on notifications, and maybe share it with some of your pals. I've been Emerald, and bye.